You're an awesome person. Just want to say that. Um, cool. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do really quickly because I don't want to waste your time. We're going to quickly go over the value assessment that I kind of gave you.
Hmm.
Just kind of briefly talk about it, and then we're gonna go into what you wanted to talk about, which is a little bit more online stuff. Okay, and then I'm gonna share with you how to do that, and then I'm gonna tell you what the action step is. So for when we meet again, does that make sense?
Yep.
All right, cool. So here's what we're gonna do. All right, so I took a look at your value. By the way, how's everything going? How's your mother doing?
My mom is getting better by the day. It's
Praise God.
challenging. It's challenging because I got the results of her blood test. They took blood tests on Friday,
Okay.
and so they said that nothing got worse. It's just that it's the same as it was when she was in the hospital. So I have to continue to have faith that God's going to do what He can do and heal my mom. My mom's choice is to go that route, not any other route.
That's it. That's it, man. Amen. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I'm glad that she's doing better. I'm glad that sometimes papers lie. It's just you can't believe what you can't. Sometimes you can't accept those things. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's beautiful, man. That's really beautiful. I'm glad that she's doing better.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you say hi to her for us.
I will. Thank you for your prayers.
Yeah, for sure, man. You guys are awesome. So let's quickly go over these value sheets really quickly. Where we at here? All right, so I went over it and I kind of figured out what your values are, and I'm sure you can probably agree with them. A lot of things that kept coming up was Bible, praying, Bible study, God.
Mm-hmm.
So that's definitely one of your values. And the next one was like music. It came up like 4 or 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
And then relationships, family, marriage, relationships, that came up several times. And finances, and then traveling came up like twice. So I kind of like figured out that your values are God, relationship, finances, music, and travel. Do you agree?
Yeah. And, this is again how I'm like, I still have like, I guess, an off perception of what values is because I'm so used to being in corporate, and corporate says our core values are XYZ, right?
Yeah.
Their values. And then what you listed are what I value, but is that equivalent to saying values?
Yeah, because the thing is that when people are asked this question, they always say surfacey things like leadership, they say surfacey things like honesty, but the truth is that you've literally defined what your true down to earth values are. So I think the other stuff is just so surfacey. So that's the reason why you did the exercise, because if I were just to ask you, you'd probably say things like I integrity and honest, and not to say that none of those things are good,
Mm-hmm.
but in reality, those questions kind of force you. It kind of shows you it shines a different light on what you really truly value, and that's going to be very beneficial because of how you can actually use this. So, obviously you've heard the story of David and Goliath, and there's a part in the story where obviously Jesse, David's father, sends David out to bring food for their older brothers, and he stops what he's doing and he goes out there and he brings food to his brothers, and it just so happens that when he goes and brings food to them, he overhears that Goliath is kind of like taunting and threatening.
Right. You're frozen. You're frozen.
Sorry, can you hear me now? Am I
Yeah,
still frozen?
You're back.
Yeah. So anyways, so he gets word that Goliath is taunting the people from Israel, and he starts to ask, what's happening, what's going on,
Mm-hmm.
and the first thing he asks is, what is the king giving away? What is King Saul giving in return for killing the giant, right? And he starts asking people because he wanted to know, quote unquote, what the incentive was. It doesn't say that in the Bible, but when someone begins to start asking, what am I getting in return for it? He wanted to be incentivized. And even though he does fight in the name of the Lord, and even though he's fighting because he believes in God and he loves God, He, you know, they say, you know, the king is giving Saul away. I mean, Saul is giving away his daughter as a wife. He's giving away, he's exempting him and his entire family from taxes. And back then, taxes was like more like a mafia, like mobsters coming to your house and asking for money. And I think he was like, and he's also going to get inherit into his kingdom, which also meant, you know, wealth and abundance. Right. So he hears that these are the incentives. Right. And he goes out there and he, of course, does what he does best. You know, he goes out there, me with the sword and the spear, but I come to you in the name of the God, the God of the angels of armies. And he kills, you know, Goliath. Right. And the reason why I share that story is because we as human beings, we want to be incentivized. And I think that when you understand your values, you can actually attach them to things that you're doing in your life, so it can push you to actually go and accomplish and do the things that you need to do. So attaching an incentive to what you want to do, but not just any servicing incentive, something that has to do with your values. So for example, let's say that your goal is to begin to start generating leads for your business. Let's say you want to start generating 30 leads, right? Now, before you can generate 30 leads, you need to figure out how to do a couple of things, which is generate traffic, and when you have that traffic, convert that traffic into leads. So there's going to be like 2 steps before you have the outcome that you either have to learn, or you have to study, or you have to put in work, right? And the work is where a lot of people kind of stop, because a lot of people get confused with the work. Sometimes the work gets it's too much. Sometimes people get lazy, right? But if you can attach an incentive to the 30 leads and say, okay, if I get the 30 leads, okay, let's take a look at one of your values. It would be traveling, let's say, right? Even though traveling is probably one of the last ones in your value ladder, I'm only using it because it's probably the easiest one for me to make an example of. But let's say you attach, you know, you rewarding yourself to go somewhere, and, you know, whether it's another country or another place, you can attach that to that. And it would resonate with you very well because it happens to be one of your values, right? Or, you know, and it can be for anything. Maybe you can attach, you know, you did mention that, you know, you're looking for an amazing marriage, or, you know, maybe you're dating, and maybe one of the things that you can attach an incentive can be you buying something for yourself something at H&M, because H&M is pretty cheap and it's pretty cool clothing. Something at H&M where it's kind of, you're kind of rewarding yourself because you have to look good in order to actually, you know, go on a date. So I'm just giving you kind of examples. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. So I don't know who said this, but it said that, you know, everybody has ambitions. Everybody's ambitious, but ambition needs a track to run on, right? And I was like, oh, wow, that's really good. I kept repeating it to myself. Ambition is, everyone has it. It just needs a track to run on. Which means that even the people that you probably know in your life that are absolutely lazy, and, you know, you probably don't consider them ambitious, they are ambitious if you build structure and you incentivize what they need to do. It's just that everyone operates a little differently. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully that makes sense. And now that you understand your values, what I would recommend you do is attach incentives to it. And it doesn't have to be expensive incentives. You can make it very affordable. You can make it very inexpensive, but yet very efficient.
Okay.
So that's what I would recommend you do when you're setting some of these goals that you're probably going to have after this call. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that helps.
Okay, perfect. So really quickly, before I get into it, what I would like to know is, what exactly are you looking to get from this online part? Like you mentioned you wanted the online training. What exactly, if there's one thing you can get, what would that be?
Well, I didn't finish, first of all, because as I was on my momentum flow, then my mother's situation happened. Okay. And so I was looking forward to first going back to the Instagram training to finish it and do what it says, do what I got. Because like I did probably the first 3 videos maybe. And then I realized, oh, I need money. So then when, let's see, the end of April, the beginning of May came, and then I thought, okay, well, I'm definitely going to stick to mastering Instagram. And I started another Instagram profile. I did the bio, but then I was looking forward to going back to the Instagram training to complete it. So that's the first thing that I was going to do, but I was looking forward to actually just, I didn't know I wouldn't have access to the training anymore. I thought I would have access to it.
Okay, I'm not sure. I mean, I'll see if I can get it for you.
Do you remember what I'm talking about? Because when I first signed up with you as a coach,
yeah.
you gave me the login to your, it was a Kajabi something site with your modules.
Yeah. And it's okay. So I'm gonna see if I can, because we're not using that platform anymore. And I guess when we stopped using it, it kind of took our content out of there too. So I'll see if I can get those videos for you.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So so go ahead, keep going.
Yeah. So Instagram was what I was going to go to first.
Okay.
And then I was going to go come back to you to say I'm ready for the ClickFunnels.
Okay.
Where we left off with that was for me to let you know when I was ready.
Okay.
For your help to get that set.
Okay. Got it. Okay. So that's where you're at. So right now you mentioned something about solo ads, right? So you're still promoting iPads, correct?
Yeah.
All right, cool. And you already know the niche you're targeting, correct?
No.
Okay, you still don't know.
No.
Okay.
No. Because the way it's been from January, I sat down with Tracy Walker for like 5 minutes, and the thought was just to keep it clear that I have passions in music, in travel, in personal development, and one other thing. And then in April, when I was in Nashville, when Dee was on stage, what I got from what she was saying was my niche or my target market is basically me. So I still haven't talked that through enough to understand, okay, really, how can I really define my niche? And so I figured with my Instagram account, one profile is focusing on promoting my blog, that's promoting personal development, people who are into personal development, travel, and God. That's one Instagram profile. My other Instagram profile is just about network marketing, or at least that's my intent.
Okay.
Once I go through the Instagram training, I'm sure I'll create probably 2 more. But as far as coming back to the niche, that's as far as I got.
Okay. No. Okay. Cool. So here's what we're gonna do. Okay. Because look, in order for you to really blow this up, you want to blow this up, obviously, right?
Yeah.
All right. Let's blow it up then. Okay. In order for you to blow it up, then you have to be willing to take the step into just doing it. So Instagram is great, but I'll be honest with you, the reason why I stopped doing Instagram was because it was just not scalable. What that means is that it was not scalable, which meant that it required a lot of my effort, and it also meant that it wasn't consistent. Not just consistent in lead flow, but also not consistent in sales. And what you want to have consistency, and you want to have control of that. And that's the only reason why Instagram was a great starter, and it really did help us out. But eventually I started to realize that I needed to figure out how to really, really have a consistent flow of traffic, consistent flow of leads, and really at my own will be able to if I want to get traffic, I could get traffic. If I want to get 100 clicks, I could get 100 clicks. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I want to share with you is actually something that I believe that you can probably use for Instagram too, but I'm also going to show you, and I'll share a little bit about Instagram or what you could do now if that's the route you want to take, right? But I want you to also understand that right now, like the best way to get leads and traffic happens to be through Facebook PPC. And the reason why is because you can really zone in on the target market. So, and I don't want you to think that that it's expensive. I actually kind of want to break that belief, because that was actually one of my beliefs when I got started. Can you see my screen?
Yep, I can.
All right, cool. So really quickly, I have it stopped here, but basically I ran 666 clicks, and I only paid 32 cents for the click. Now, imagine if you did, I'm not sure if you can see it. Can you see it?
I can.
Okay, and this is just I'm targeting like a bunch of like I'm targeting fitness people for the program that my wife has.
Right.
So now check this out. Now it's super targeted, right? And it's 666 clicks. I got 32 leads, right? I mean, I was paying 32 clicks. I'm sorry, I was spending 32 cents per click. That's super cheap. If we did solo ads, 666 clicks, I wouldn't be able to get it for 32 cents. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be as targeted as I'm getting it. So I want to let you know that it's pretty cheap if you know what you're doing, right? At the end of the day, when it comes to getting traffic, it really goes down to like market research. It really goes down to researching the niche you're targeting and then figuring out where they're hanging out. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And the same thing with Instagram. Once you figure out where once you figure out where that niche is at, once you figure out where they're hanging out, which is in hashtags, then you can start driving the traffic. The only thing with Instagram is that if you want more traffic, you need to create more accounts. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And Instagram has now put a policy where they're like cracking down on people who are using multiple accounts. And back in the day when it was really hot, before like Facebook bought them out, you were able to like buy a bunch of Instagram accounts from Fiverr, but they don't even do that anymore because they crack down on them. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
So it's what you call a black hat marketing tactic, which means it's like a black hat because it's not, it works, but it's not like it's here today, gone tomorrow. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not sure about you, but I'm sure you probably want to build a foundation where it's not gone tomorrow. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But I mean, nevertheless, I will go over that. Okay, I will go over that as far as Instagram goes. But really quickly, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to kind of share with you a little bit about how you can do this. And I'm not going to overwhelm you because there's a way where you can really, really get super targeted. But there's a way where you don't have, but that way requires a lot of like details, and I don't want to overwhelm you. I kind of want to get you up and running as soon as possible. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now, if you could get, 32 cents, I mean, I think actually in one of them, I was getting like 10 cents a click. I mean, where's she? Where is that at? Hold on one second. I mean, I was getting 10 cents a click. I drove 272 clicks. I mean, would you like to know how to get 10-cent clicks?
Yep.
Okay. I mean, that's pretty cheap then, it's like, and then you can still do Instagram if you want. But I kind of just want to be honest with what I'm doing right now. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So this is what I'm doing right now, and it's working. So really quickly, first thing we have to get out of the way is like the niche you're targeting. And even though you are like, even though last thing you heard, that Dee said was, you are the niche, which I totally agree. What we want to do is we want to get niche specific. Okay. And now that we know your values, right, to make this really fun, is what audience would you like to talk to? I mean, you got God here, which means that it seems that you'd probably be okay with talking about the word of God with these people, yet at the same time presenting them an opportunity. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And would that be fun to do? Like actually creating an audience that you can talk to about that?
Yeah.
Okay. Then you also got travel. If you like travel, then you can also go into that niche, and I'll show you how to get really specific in a second. But you can also go into that niche. And of course, if you're more of a personal development and you want to go into that niche, you can also get into that niche as well. Right. The thing is that we want to be more niche specific, because the more niche specific we are, the cheaper likes you're going to get, like 10-cent clicks. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So that's a decision you're going to have to make. But let's just say if you were to make a decision right now, what niche would you want to go with?
Personal development, but I think relationships specifically, so that it's not just personal development, but in personal development that helps you have better relationships, family and romantic.
Okay, so personal development that happens to be like family and romantic. Okay, cool. You did, personal development is something that came up a couple of times as well. All right, so let's just say, we'll do personal development, right? And I don't want you to think that just because you're doing personal development, then now you're going to have to become personal development, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can build off of these niches, right? But the thing is that you want to be specific to this niche to get the cheaper clicks, talk
Right.
about what they want to talk about, which is what you're passionate about. And then eventually when they they get on your team, they realize that you're not just a personal junkie. You know, you're more than just that. You're Sheila. Make sense?
Yeah.
So like for the sake of this example, we're going to pretend that we're going to say that personal development is the niche you're going to go after. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So one of the things that I talk about is the first step is obviously your avatar, right? Is finding where they're chilling at, right? So here's what we'll do, okay? It was a couple of questions that I have here is, you know, who's your ideal customer? What are they into? What pages do they like? How old are they? What books do they read? What films do they like? What's their background? So just write some of these questions down. What I'll do is I'll email this to you at the end. So don't like go crazy. Don't think that, all right. So these are going to be some of the questions you just kind of want to start asking yourself to kind of just start building that creative thing. Okay.
Okay.
And then a good thing, and then I'll show you. I'm not going to get too much into that because I don't want to confuse you. Okay, cool. So here's what we're going to do. When targeting people, when targeting audience, you want to choose a precise interest to target. In other words, you want to be specific, right? You only want to target one keyword. Like you don't want to target multiple keywords, just one keyword. And I'll show you what that means in a second here. Okay. But before you do this, and this is going to be part of the assignment, is I want you to create 2 buckets of interest, okay? And interest just basically means, like, for example, like if we type in Facebook interest or interests, you know, just, you know, like if you type in Facebook interest, you'll see a bunch of them pop up: soccer, football, hiking, cricket, baseball, Jesus Christ. You see that?
Yep.
Okay, so that's what interests are. And these are very broad interests.
Okay.
And then of course we'll talk about that in a second, but these are basically interests. So so you want to create 2 buckets: proven interest and experimental interest. Of course, right now you have nothing that's nothing that's proven to work. So you're going to be creating a list of interests that you believe your audience is hanging out in. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, and that's where you're going to start. And eventually, when it starts to work, you're going to move those people into the proven interest. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So really quickly, you want to create about like 100 interests. Okay, now 100 is a lot, and you may be like, holy cow, I can only think of like 3 personal development gurus. But I'm going to show you in a second how you can tap into like thousands of interests that relate to personal development. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so the first thing that you want to do is ask yourself, like, what experts are in your niche? What do they have Facebook fan pages? Okay, and if they do, write that down. So like I'll give a couple of examples. Like Bob Proctor is a big guy in personal development. Tony Robbins is another personal development guru. What would be another one that you like to read?
Les Brown.
Les Brown is another, right? So we're going to go with Les Brown in a second here, okay? And then another question is, what other Facebook fan pages do your prospects like? Which means that if they like Les Brown, what other pages are they going and liking because they're relevant to Les Brown? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Another one is, what books do their prospects like? Or like what magazines do they like to read? And of course you would target those magazines, okay?
Okay.
And I think, and then, so like, here's how we're going to do it. Okay. And I know I'm going kind of quick, but I'm going to give you this. Okay.
I'm following you.
Okay, cool. So you want to start off with about 20 to 30%, the goal is 100 interests.
Right.
Okay. But I'm going to show you how to get to that point in a second here. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go on Facebook. Can you see this?
Yep.
Okay. We're going to go on Les Brown's page real quick. You like Les Brown a lot?
I do now.
Okay, cool. So like, okay, look at this guy, right? He's getting tons of engagement. Imagine that every time you like put a post, you got 17,000 likes.
Right.
You think you probably get a couple of clicks into your, into your funnel, into your, business?
Yeah. That's
pretty cool, right? Look, 1,000 shares. So
right.
You think that this guy would be a good guy to target?
Right.
His audience is is super engaging, and that's what you want to check, right? You want to make sure that their audience is engaging. So this audience, right, is obviously they like personal development, right? I mean, look what he's talking about. Refuse to take in hostage by your own mind. Surround yourself with can-do energy, right? So he's already like speaking life, what you like to do. Right. So, power up your dreams, decide, no retreat. So he's talking about like just personal development, empowerment, powerful stuff. Make sense?
Yep.
Okay, so let's just say that Les Brown is the only person you know. Well, how do you come up with 100? It's like, holy cow, dude, you're asking a lot from me, but how do you come up with 100? Well, here's a little trick that you can do. There's something you could do is use this word right here. Pages liked by people who like, and then we're going to put Les Brown. Okay, and here's what's going to happen. If we do pages liked by Les Brown, pages liked by people who like Les Brown. Do you see this?
Yep.
You see what I'm doing?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So you see where it says pages, there's like a little orange flag?
Yes.
All right. Bam, look at what just happened. Like this is gold. Okay, this is gold. Because what this is showing you now is that the people who like Les Brown, they went and liked Eric Ward. Okay? The people who like Les Brown, they went to like Jim Rohn. Okay? So now it's like, holy cow, Jim Rohn. Okay? He's a personal guru. Okay?
Right.
Robert Kiyosaki, Ray Higdon. Now here's the deal, right? What you want to do is let's open a couple of these people up. Okay? We'll open Kalatu, even though that's not personal development.
Right.
We'll open up Tony Robbins. We'll open up Frank Kern. We'll open up John C. Maxwell. We'll open up Darren Hardy. Like, look at all this stuff. Now it's like, now what you're going to do is you're going to go on their fan page, and here's what you're going to do. You're going to make sure that this fan page is niche specific. Is he talking about personal development? Eric Worre is known more like network marketing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like, you don't want to, obviously network marketing and personal development are very, very much alike, but you want to get specific, you want to get specific. So for the sake of this, we're just going to say no to this, because it's, even though he probably does talk about personal development, you want somebody like Les Brown. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Somebody who's not in a network, not someone who doesn't teach network marketing, someone who just likes to do personal development. Make sense?
Right. Yep.
Okay. So Jim Rohn. Okay. Let's see he's pretty engaging. Okay. It's not that bad. It's not like Les Brown, but I mean, it's pretty good. And he's writing about personal development. Look, learn to help people with more than just their jobs. Help them with their lives. Do you see that?
Yes.
It got 9,000 likes. It's crazy, right? So he'd be a good candidate. Let's take a look at Kalatu. Okay, Kalatu instantly is, number one, look at their engagement.
Right.
Okay, that's one thing. The second thing is that they're not talking about like personal development. They're talking about Empower Network. I know this is really a stupid example.
That's okay. I follow you though.
Okay, I don't want you to target just because you put pages like by Les Brown and this popped up. This would be disqualified. Like, I'm not going to use this one. Why? Their engagement is low, and they're not even talking directly about personal development. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. Robert Kiyosaki, right? What is he talking about? He's talking about money. He's talking about, negative thoughts. He's talking about entrepreneurship. He's talking about the stock market. He's not really specifically talking about personal development, He's talking about financial education, which is cool, right? But I want somebody who's like Les Brown, who's just talking about personal development, right? Tony Robbins, I think he's good, right? He's talking about, let's see what he's pretty engaging. He's got Tony Robbins result coaching client discusses how online coaching session transformed his business overnight. Making true decisions, being committing to achieving results. Goals are magnets. So this could be somebody you might want to target. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. He's not super targeted like a Les Brown. I guess he is. So now Frank Kern, he popped up. Do you know who Frank Kern is?
No.
Okay, Frank Kern is like he's like a direct response guy. He's like known for like online marketing, but he doesn't mess with MLMs. He actually doesn't like MLMs, and he actually talks bad about them sometimes. And some of the people that follow him probably don't like MLMs either. So it's very like, if you feel stuck at one point, you got to make sure you research it. If you want to get, like, when it comes to getting traffic in the right audience, Sheila, it's going to come down to just doing some research, which I know you're not. I know you're okay with, rolling up your sleeves and doing some research, right?
Yeah.
By the way, I'm recording this entire thing, and I'm going to give it to you so you can go back and look at it if you want.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So, I mean, just by looking at some of this stuff, he's not really talking about personal development. You know what I'm saying? He's like, look what he's talking about. Like, he's talking about funnels and all that stuff, right? So, like, he's not really talking about personal development. So, would this be a guy that you would want to target?
No.
No, they probably wouldn't respond good to your ads. Okay, John C. Maxwell.
Yes.
He's known for leadership, right? Change does not roll in wheels of inevitably, but comes through continuous struggle. That's good, actually. You see, so like maybe would you want to target this guy, his audience?
Definitely.
All right, cool. Darren Hardy. He's like the publisher of Success Magazine, right? This Thursday we would have been the 85th birthday of one of the greatest mentors and continued source of inspiration, Mr. Jim Rohn. So, like, he's talking about somebody we're targeting, which means that his language happens to be personal development. I mean, that's what he's talking about. And he's got okay engagement. His engagement is not all that. It's okay. But would this be somebody you want to target, his audience?
I think so.
Okay. If you don't build your dreams, someone else will hire you to help them build theirs. Make sense?
Definitely. Yep.
So even like what you do is, remember we talked about earlier on how you have two buckets, a proven interest and experimental interest. Okay. So this is where you start putting the bucket in there, because you don't really know if it's going to work or not, but you basically from some of the things we're going over, they're basically the people who like Les Brown also like Darren Hardy, which means that he's probably talking about personal development. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
So you'd put all of these people you're saying yes to in that list, okay? Do you know who this guy is?
I do.
Perfect. Does he talk about personal development?
Yes, he does.
Oh, well, look at that, right? Now, he's not his audience is not super engaging. Like, it's got it's not bad, okay? It's not like Les Brown's, okay, or Jim Rohn, okay? But it's not that bad, right? But he's talking about personal development. So you put him in the list. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And then what you do, okay, once you get all these people, let's say Jim Rohn was a good one. Well, you can actually do pages liked by people who like Les Brown and Jim Rohn.
Yes.
Sorry. Pages like, there we go. Okay, wait a minute.
Oh, you said Jim John. You meant to say Rohn. R-O-J.
That's why. That's hilarious. How do you spell it? Rohn, like that?
Yes.
Sometimes pages liked by people who like Les Brown. That's it. And Jim. Bro, you see what I did now?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so what am I doing now? Am I getting more targeted or what?
Yes, you are.
Okay, why is that?
Because you're narrowing it down to just these two guys who got the most engagement on their pages. Exactly.
So I mean, there's so many ways you can mess with this. So let's see what pops up now. Okay, some of these guys pop up again. Success Magazine might be something you might want to look into, right? Because I mean, they have successful people talking about personal development, So you got you got Bob Proctor, who just popped up, right? And of course, not all of these people are going to be personal development gurus.
Right.
Like Donald Trump is not personal development.
Right.
Right. But the thing is that you're going through some of this stuff, so then you can have a better understanding of like So you can start like Deep Chopra. I think he might be personal development, but I'm not sure. But you'd look through that, and if you have any doubts, and you do some research on Deep Chopra or whoever you want to have a better understanding on, and see if that's what they focus on. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So do you see how easy it is to come up with at least 20 interests?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I want you to do. Okay, I want you to create a list of 20 interests, and I want you to do exactly what I'm telling you to do, step by step in the video, so that you can begin to start having an audience. So now, because this is so powerful, because now you can tap into their audience, right? And when you can tap into their audience, then you can literally reverse engineer some of the things that they're posting. That's what they're consuming. They're consuming that content. And if they're consuming that content, right, then you can see that they're probably selling something. And then you can do the same exact thing. You can bridge them over to iPass. And you probably know how to do that better than this for now, but you see how simple it is?
I do. I have a question though.
Yeah, go for it.
So the interests are these pages and these magazines. Is that what the interests are that you're talking about?
Yeah, these would be the general interest would be personal development, right? And then these people would be like, it would be interest. I mean, it'd be like a level 1, like it'd be more targeted. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So so when I make a list of up to 100 interests, it's including these names that one we got an example of. People,
yeah, no, it's all of the it's the.
I don't hear you.
Consuming their content.
I didn't hear you. I'm sorry. It blanked out.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's the people the people you're gonna put on that list are gonna be people who are in the personal development niche, who has a really engaging audience. Like they're like consuming the content.
Right. Okay.
Okay. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So far, okay, are you getting how this works a little bit?
I am.
Okay, that's good. Okay. Now there's a couple of things that you can also do. You can also do favorite interests of people who like. And you can put their names in there. You can put groups joined by people who like personal development. Does that make sense?
Yep.
You can even do that. And you can probably go into those groups and you can probably even put your blog in them. Let's try this out for a second.
Okay.
If you put page groups joined by people who like, let's say, personal development. Now, the only thing with personal development, I think it might be saturated with a lot of spammy people. So you have to find really good groups that just literally talk about that.
Okay.
Hold on one second. I mean, let's see. Groups. I mean, you can. I'll show you the list, but I think the best way to do it is by getting pages liked by people, like getting pages going after pages that are basically in the niche you're targeting. Make sense?
Okay. Yep.
Okay, cool. And then what I'll show you is once you have that, I'll show you what to do next. Okay. And if you start getting really good, then I'll show you how to get even more targeted.
Okay.
And so here's kind of like what I want to paint the picture really quickly. Okay, once you have this done, I'm not going to teach you here today, but once you have this done, we're going to start targeting 1 interest per ad, which is going to be from your experimental interest. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's about it. Okay. I just kind of wanted to quickly give you that run through. Okay. So here's what you need to do. Let me just stop screen sharing. How do I get back on here? All right, cool. All right, so here's what I want you to do, okay? So what I want you to do is I want you to create a list of an experimental list where you're going to be doing exactly what I just did with you. Make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Now, again, this is just an example, right? I just used the personal development niche. If you don't want to do the personal development niche, you don't have to. You can do the God niche. You can do, I mean, there's so many different niches. So I just went through the personal development niche because that was the example. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But you can literally do this with anything. And you can build out funnels that target specific niches, and you can just bridge them over into iPass.
Okay.
But I mean, let's not, that just kind of want to get you thinking far ahead, but don't get overwhelmed with any of this stuff. It's really, really simple.
Okay.
And I think that if you just do it, I think you're going to have the 20 people, the 20 audience, the group of the 20, and then we can start running some ads and you can start getting some traffic. Make sense?
Yep.
Yeah, because if you're not getting sales, then you have to go back to the leads you're getting. If you're not getting any leads, then it's because you're not generating traffic.
Right. And I know that for the next time, which it could be before this month is over, since this I think is making up for August, right?
Yeah, what we'll do is let's meet up next week. Okay. Let's meet up next week. And what we'll do next is we'll basically I went to Sheila online, Sheila Johnson online, because I wanted to see her funnel. It doesn't I don't think it works, the website.
Oh, it's been having mapping issues ever since we were in Vegas in August. So you have to put www dot in front of Sheila Johnson online right now.
Okay.
And I have to speak to GoDaddy tonight because I dealt with the tech people at Empower Network on why that was happening, because I did the mapping correctly. But they think that it's a GoDaddy issue.
Okay, cool. All right, so cool. All right, cool. So let me kind of like break this down real quickly. Once we have this, here's what we're gonna do. Once we have the 20 interest, okay, you're gonna basically in order for us to run any traffic, you have to have like a website that's working. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, you already have a bridge video and everything?
No, and that's what I was going to ask for help with the next time, because I attempted to do it, and that was while I was at my mom, from the time that you said, okay, within the next week, do at least one bridge video, or like on a Friday. And I attempted to do that, and that didn't work. Partly because I got stuck with what I would say. I understand the formula of what to say, but I never got past just doing like a few drafts of what I would say. So I haven't finished doing a bridge video yet. And I feel like, unfortunately, I need that specific help with getting that part done.
Okay. Okay. How you doing, bro? Good seeing you. Awesome. Okay, let's not even focus on that right now. What I need you to focus on is just doing this. Okay. How long do you think it's going to take you to do?
I probably need until Sunday, because I'll have company. We'll be spending time with my mom.
Okay.
And then music Saturday, so I'll have it done by Sunday.
Okay, cool. All right. So the faster you get this done, the faster you can start making sales.
Right.
And that's important. So, and it's not hard at all. And again, just if you don't want to do the personal development niche, you can choose another niche and do the same exact thing. Cool?
Right. Yeah.
So I'm going to send you this link through Facebook. I don't want you to go through, I'm just going to send it to you the way I have it, because I apologize. I'm kind of lazy. But just literally, the stuff that we didn't talk about, don't think that you have to read everything and that's everything you have to do. Just look at the stuff we talked about, and then you can use that as a reference. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So cool. Last thing that I wanted to do really quickly is, so yeah, man, I know I did a lot of the talking this time. Normally I like to hear what you're getting, how's your life going and stuff. But I figured that for the purpose of this, the fact that you wanted to know how to do this, I figured I'd kind of show you a little bit more. Make sense?
Yeah. I appreciate it.
Yeah, awesome.
I'm good with that. I took my notes too.
Awesome. Now you basically just do the same exact, let me give you another example, right? This is going to be very beneficial, because if you get the 20 interest, if you start getting names like that, like how I'm showing you, you can then go back on Instagram and look for those public figures. You can hashtag their names.
Okay.
And then you can use, what Instagress is? I'm not sure if you remember that.
Yeah.
Okay. You can use Instagress to go like other people's profiles who are hashtagging those names. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it can work for both. So, so that's about it, Sheila. I had a really good time today. Thank you for letting me speak. I like to speak. And I'm really excited for you. I always love meeting with you. I think you're such an awesome person. You have such a good heart, and I'm looking forward to seeing you get some sales, girl. So let's get you some sales.
Yep, that sounds good. Do you want to pencil in something for next week, since you said we should try for next week, or do you want to wait?
Let's pencil in sometime next week. What you say you'll have it done by Sunday? Can we do Tuesday around the same time again?
Yeah. Yep.
Perfect. Let's do it, girl.
Okay.
All right. Awesome. Cool. Good stuff. All right, Sheila. God bless you, man. Hope you have an awesome week. Tell your mom I said hi. You're such an amazing person. How's it going with the guy?
Good. His name is Andre. He's
Andre. That's right. Sorry.
He's coming tomorrow night.
Nice.
I'll meet my mom on Thursday.
Nice.
Goes back home on Friday. So
that is good, man. I'm gonna be praying for that, man. That's awesome, man. Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to see how that's gonna blossom, and I can't wait to see what it's gonna become. I think it's really good that you guys are both, like following Jesus. I think that's a secret, man. That's a secret, honestly. I look back and I'm like, it's like I don't cheat. I don't cheat because my wife is gonna beat me up. I don't cheat because I love God. His love is what it's what. Man, I don't even know how to explain it, but Jesus is a secret. So it's good that you guys are like both equally yoked. I never understood what that was, because I was like, you mean you're gonna crack a yoke on my head? Like, I wasn't Christian at the time, right? She's like, nah, like you gotta be, you gotta be with God, man. So I'm excited for both of you guys.
Thank you. I appreciate the prayers too.
Yeah, man. Sheila, you're so awesome, man. You're so awesome. I do want to let you know that you're an amazing person. And you're just great, man. Thank you for not giving up on your dreams. Thank you for pushing forward. Thank you. You're awesome.
Thank you. You're awesome too.
Thank you. Appreciate it. So I'll see you next week on Tuesday, and then let's get these. Let's start running some traffic.
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
All right. Take care, Sheila.
Good night.
Peace.